Hello everyone, this is Larry Everett, the Elder Scrolls Online columnist for Massively. I write the Tamriel Infinium that comes out every Friday, and today, particularly, we have been invited to spend some time in the beta of Elder Scrolls Online, and what I would like to do is show you the skill trees of the Dragon Knight. Now, I picked the Dragon Knight first off because it's a common class that is generally referred to as like a tank class. However, there are some other skills that do some very good AoE damage as well. But I also wanted to show you these skill trees because as I go through this little speed up video, so I could fit it all in, I wanted to show that the racial abilities that people were complaining about a little bit with the, let's say, like the Imperial, for instance, that comes with the Imperial Collector's Edition. I wanted to show that it's not as big a deal as far as the game mechanics are concerned as people would make it out to be. And also, I wanted to show that it's not just the class that determines what role you play in a group. As you can see here, I'm going through right now. I'm going through the sword and shield weapon, which is I think is amazing. Has amazing tanking abilities. But then you look at the two-handed, and now I'm still Dragon Knight here, mind you. The two-handed has like cleave abilities, so it's slow and heavy DPS, and whereas the bow is ranged and kind of fast DPS. Then you have like the restoration staff that will that is a healer no matter what class you are. So that just to give you a good idea that it's not necessarily your class, although it is important, mind you, it is more of a play style choice than an actual role choice. Like in most MMOs will give you your class choice right up front, and that's kind of what you got to stick with as regards to your role. Well, in Elder Scrolls Online, that is very, very different. And even as you can see here, you can even mix and match some things to make your class more viable depending on the type of armor that you have. So now let's go through. Let's see. You have your class and you have your weapon, and you have also your armor that kind of determine the roles that you can play. Class is mostly style. Weapons and armor is really what controls your role. Lastly, before we get to the racial abilities, you have world abilities, which are things along the lines of werewolves and vampirism, and those types of guilds also will fall under that. So look for skill trees in those areas as well. But lastly, I want to talk about the racial abilities, because really that's where the stickler is. That's where this whole Imperial issue comes along. I'm just going to read to you real quick what the Nord has to offer. The Nord has two-handed weapon experience, which gains 15% faster, then Robust, which increases health regen by 5%, Frost Resist, which increases resist by 42%, and the max health by 1%, and Rugged, which increases armor by 8%. Now we switch over to the Bosmer, or Wood Elf, and as you can see, I've got a slightly different class. We are a Nightblade, but the weapons stats and the armor stats are exactly the same. But the stickler here, right, is the racial abilities. That's the one we're most concerned about. So I'll just read them off to you, and you can make your own decision regarding what is good or what is bad. First, you have Archery Expertise, which increases bow XP gain by 15%, Vigor, which stamina recovery while in combat by 3%, Resist Affliction, which is poison and disease resist by 22% and increase maximum stamina by 1%, and then Stealthy, which improves the radius of stealth by 1 meter and increases the damage from stealth by 3%. Personally, I think that it really doesn't matter a whole lot by the time that you get to end game. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, this is Larry Everett with Massively. Check out the Tamriel Infinium, which comes out on Friday, and also check out our other videos and impressions of our time in Elder Scrolls Online.